Hey, everybody, welcome to the Gathering Paracast here on the Cultivadia Network. My name is Heidi.
And I'm Stephanie, and welcome in. We're kind of, tonight, Heidi, we're kind of talking about what if, right?
Yeah,
Which,
I love
which
the what ifs.
I do love the what ifs. And I feel like the whole paranormal supernatural world is full of what ifs. I
Yeah.
mean, and so we like
If
to
you're
explore.
in absolutes, this is
Yeah,
not the right realm for you.
no, no, no,
If you're going to hang on to those
absolutely not.
absolutes, good
Yeah.
luck. It doesn't
Yes.
work.
No, no, for sure. And we always ask here, let's start the show out by this way. We always ask people who are interested in subjects or if they have something that's on their mind and they see, send it to us. And that's exactly how this show is playing out tonight. So Jerry
Mhm.
Ayers of the Sim Crew, who's our number one follower, sent me something about this and he said, I think you guys should do this on the gathering. So we are. So I think it's a really cool subject. We have a few pictures. Now you can go out there on the web and find a plethora of them. But what it is what if mountains are really petrified giants? And there are some mountains and some mountain ranges that really look like faces, right? And I guess the
Faces
first
and full
one,
bodies, right?
faces and full
Full,
bodies,
full
right?
body
So
images,
yes,
both.
and so our ad for this week, I used the image of the sleeping lady, which that particular image there is an aerial photograph that's been wildly photoshopped. It really does not look like that, but it does look very similar. So we can show the next picture, I believe, and that's from the water. And it really does look like a sleeping woman. And the story goes, there she is. She's like, no, there, yep. So she's like curled up on her side. And the story goes that a millennia ago, the tribes, it's in Alaska, right? So it's like northeast of Anchorage, and I believe you can see it from Anchorage. Um, and what it says is this woman fell in love with this warrior. They were going to get married, the whole 9 yards, if that's what they did back in the day, but they were going to spend their life together and do a ceremony. And then a war broke out with a neighboring tribe. And so he had to go defend the tribe. And she fell asleep waiting for him and was petrified into this mountain. So, I mean, it's a really cool story. And were they giants? Wow, it sure would seem like that, right? Because that's pretty big, you know? Um, very cool. Very cool. The the next one I guess I want to talk about is the sleeping giant, which is just in Lake Superior. And you know how we love Lake Superior on this show.
Mhm.
I mean, she's a spirit in and of herself. And this actually is called the sleeping giant. It is up on Lake Superior, up in Thunder Bay. And the story of that one goes that it was supposedly Nana Bijou who was the spirit of deep waters and frozen in place there as a rock formation. I don't know. It really, I remember seeing it when I was about 16 years old or 17 years old, and we were on a tour around. We did a drive around of Lake Superior, and that was just the most fabulous thing, I think, and the whole story. But the thing is, there are people saying that these rock formations really are the petrified remains of ancient giants. Thoughts?
So I have a couple of thoughts on this. And again,
Mhm.
that's why I love these topics. So Jerry, thank you for sending this because
Yeah.
this is just where I find my happy place to
Mhm.
think of all the what ifs. And
Me
so
too.
I love playing all the sides. So could it be giants? Why not?
Yes.
Why
Why
not?
not?
Because our planet is how many billions of years old?
Mhm.
So if if we've had and how many mass extinction events have we had? Are we up
Right.
to
A
6,
lot.
7?
Oh,
6,
yes.
7?
Yes.
Hmm. Anyway,
Yes.
so we've got this history that on at least a handful of occasions, we don't know it. We found dinosaurs, right?
Yep. Yep.
And different evolutions of dinosaurs and other, giant beings on the planet. So why
Mhm.
wouldn't a version of human? I think it's
Mhm.
interesting though that if it was part of a different, they were part of a different evolution, how likely is it that a human type being, because here again we have that human type shape, a head, torso, arms,
Yep.
legs, right?
Yep.
That
Yep.
something like that would evolve twice
Yeah.
in two entirely separate evolutions. That seems
Mhm.
unlikely to me,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially because you have dinosaurs that evolved
Mhm.
and, you know, but again, I'm not a science person like that, so I don't know. There's probably reasons,
Mhm.
but why not? Could it have been? Sure. Do I think that the mountain is the petrified being? No. No, I don't.
Mhm.
Personally, I don't. Would I like to
Mhm.
think it could be? Yes. That part of me thinks, "How cool," right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
do I think that's actually what it is? No. I don't think it's actually a petrified being. Um, but could there be giants buried within it or
See?
have a home, like, lived in it, underground, whatever? Sure, I don't know. Have we gone all the way into
Yeah.
some of these? I
No,
don't know.
probably not. Probably not.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting just to and I love at the very minimum the pareidolia of it, where you're
Yes.
seeing the humanness in
Mhm.
something that is a non-human form.
Yes.
I mean, really, a mountain's a non-human form. So, but to see a face in it, to see a human body in it,
Yeah.
we're wired for that. So,
Mhm.
I love that anyway. I think
Oh,
that's just so cool. But then it gets
I
me
do
thinking
too.
about because
I
there's
do
been
too.
evidence in our evolution of giants, maybe not that type of
Yes.
giant, that
Yeah.
size
That
of
they're pretty
giant,
big.
right?
Mhm.
Mountain size, but definitely, larger than what we know as humans today.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for
So
sure.
and that's in this evolution, not too far from where we're at now. So
No.
I think it's
No.
interesting the possibility that could it have been part of a different one
Mhm.
of the evolutions of our planet?
Yeah. It could have been, for
Why
sure.
not? Why not?
And
I mean, we can't say no at this point,
no,
can we?
no, we
May not be
can't.
the mountain, but it
Be
could
No,
it be
and you
something
know what?
else?
Because we talk about giants so much, and then there's the whole story of the Nephilims, right? I mean, what is that? Does that
Mhm.
tie into all this too? I mean, I don't really know. But, then I it's fascinating. But even in Minnesota, up on the border, there's a place called the Grand Mound, and we were told that in this Grand Mound, it's a burial site, right? And giants are buried there. That's what people told us. A giant species is buried in there. Is it a giant It's big. I've seen it. It's
Mhm.
you can get in there, but it's kinda closed off to the public, but you can take certain trails by the river to see it. It's effigy mounds, right? But it is big. Could it be giants in there, or is it just a giant mound of, Native Americans, Or maybe there were giants? I mean, Trost talks about giants all the time down in Pennsylvania, you know,
Right,
and
right.
in a lot of
And
different
I think it's
places.
super cool and
Yeah.
possible.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
do
they
too.
like I said, he's even talked about some of the evidence that has been found recently of giants in, not too distant, history.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, I love that there's that possibility that there could be something even bigger
Yes.
from a far distant past in our evolution as a planet and, these mass extinction events
Oh,
that
yeah.
could have wiped out something that we haven't found any evidence on at this point.
Mhm. Mhm.
And we were still finding species of
Oh, yeah.
dinosaurs.
Oh, we are. Oh, for sure. And Jerry brings up the point that up by Pelican Rapids, and I remember this, when we did an investigation up there. People told us that giant bones have been found. Now, Jerry, I if you could answer this in the chat, but are those on display? I can't remember. were we shown them or did people just tell us of them? So, I mean, kind of all over the state, right?
Mhm.
Um, and Cryptovania, of course, is saying that they suspect that most mounds are giant made. Could be.
Well, and it does go to, and I know that there's been tons of theories on even just some of the construction that's happened
Mhm.
in our,
Yes.
uh you know, human, history that they've gone, "How in the world could
Mhm.
humans have made these structures?" You know,
Mhm.
and was there alien help? Was there giant help? Maybe. And
Exactly.
there's ways that we can get to the like, humans did it. Okay, fine.
Mhm. Mhm.
However, did they? Or could there have been giants? Or aliens? Or both?
Aliens. Yeah, right?
Right?
I
That
mean,
have
there's
helped move that progress
all
along.
kinds of possibilities. Like we said, this show is about the what if. Um, so Jerry's saying yes and no, they were, but the people that had shown them couldn't take the response of what people had to say. So they just weren't tough, you know.
Oh, got it.
So, I don't know, who knows. But I mean it's fascinating. Any way you look at it, giants like well, and other things like, mermaids, for example, have been talked about for millennia, right? So there's got to be just some kind of truth to all of this, And wow, these mountains. I mean, some of them are just really crazy looking and they definitely look like something. Um this one, well, the first one, we can go back to that, but here are just some that I pulled off the internet. But I mean, it's fascinating, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
The first one that was on there is actually down in Pipestone too. It's at the Pipestone Monument and it's at the Oracle actually. And it's said to be a chief, the silhouette of of a chief. So,
And some of those you wonder,
yeah.
because of the monuments that we've made for, different crypts and
Hmm.
tombs and things like that. I mean, the things that we've been created, could someone have gone up there and started to carve maybe a monument to one of their ancestors
Yeah.
or leaders or whatever? Maybe that's how some of that form came to be.
Hmm.
So there isn't actually a giant there, but it was the beginning of a monument that
Hmm.
didn't get finished, or it was finished enough. That was what they wanted. That was
Hmm.
good. It looks like
Yeah.
someone, that's great, we're done.
Yeah.
They took a natural form and enhanced it
Could
to
be.
look like someone that they revered in their group. So,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
I think it's really cool to think about, and there's the part of me that really wants there to be giants
Me
that
too.
are the size of mountains.
Me too. Me
You know,
too.
this whole King Kong Godzilla thing
Oh, yeah.
would be cool.
And then the other thing that they also talk about with this, the petrified remains of ancient giants frozen in place, and then they talk about Himalayan pink salt
Oh, yeah.
being,
Mhm.
they say that Himalayan salt is actually minerals of a dried up ocean, but look at these salt mines. I mean, they look like meat and they look like mussels, don't they? So
Me too.
people are saying, well, what if it's blood crystallized into salt? And that's really what this Himalayan salt is all about from the giants. Whole different way to think about it, right?
It is a different way to think about it. I don't know that I would buy into that one. However, I'm all about the what ifs as well. So what if
What if?
somehow
Yeah.
that's what happened?
What if?
I
It
guess.
is. I know.
It's interesting to think about, but seriously, those images totally look like mussels.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little
Oh,
bit creepy,
yeah.
actually.
Oh, for sure. Jason, can we show those again? Because they are just, I think it's just, well, that's the Oracle. No, the Himalayan
Mussels.
mountains, but these are so cool. But
Yeah, they are cool.
I just love to watch.
Oh, yeah,
There we
there it
go.
is.
See,
Ugh,
look at that. I mean,
so weird looking,
and look at
isn't
that
it?
one especially. It almost looks like there's ribs going on in there too. You know what I mean? Ooh, I just think it's oofta.
And I'm guessing a lot of that's just from the carving, but,
Hmm. It's still,
excavating,
it's the whole thing. It looks like,
so
mud.
weird looking.
It is weird.
And it gets your imagination going and thinking,
Oh my
again, the
god.
what ifs. What
Yeah.
if?
Yeah.
What if that was
Tendons.
possible? What if that's what
Yes.
it was?
Yes. I mean, we just don't know. There's so many, that's what like we said at the beginning, that's what the paranormal and supernatural is all about. It's what
Yeah.
if? We don't know. Jerry is saying the Pipestone Oracle was formed naturally, so that was not um, carved out by any humans or anything. So that was interesting. But
Cool.
yeah, I we love the what ifs. So
Yeah, it's
it's
an
just
interesting thing to think about for
it
sure.
is. It is. And there's, a lot of belief that this is exactly what they are, especially some of these like, Mount Susitna up in Alaska and, the sleeping giant in Lake Superior. I mean, they come with stories as well. So,
Mhm.
and of course, people could look at them. So people have been looking at them for centuries thinking, oh, yeah, and the Ojibwas came up with, are the ones that talked about the sleeping giant, and it was the tribes up in Alaska that came up with the sleeping lady. So, I mean, these are peoples that have been inhabiting those places for a long time, thousands of
Mhm.
years. So who knows what they've seen, you know?
No, I agree, and again, these stories were passed down to, these tales that maybe did come from somewhere,
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
that they were real events.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I think it's fascinating. And I think the whole giant phenomenon is fascinating, I
Totally.
mean, and we
Totally
have
agree.
we have touched on that quite a few times. And just having been to that giant mound or the Grand Mound up in northern Minnesota is just it's fascinating because it's big. I mean, it's huge. It's the biggest
Mhm.
burial mound I've ever seen, And yeah, could it be just thousands of just normal sized people in there? Maybe, but maybe they really are giants because that's what we were told. This is
Mhm.
where the giants are buried. We're like, what are you talking about? Giants, a giant race of people.
Yep.
Okay,
Well, and again, like we had talked about before, and I know Jason is much more well versed on this
Mhm,
than we are about the
mhm.
race of giants that have been there's evidence that's been found, but then like they're saying in the chat room, that this stuff is taken away, any evidence to the Smithsonian or wherever,
Yeah.
and then we're never going to see it. So
Mhm.
as we find, evidence gone, disappeared.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's hard to, you keep having to wonder instead of having something that can be, evidence, facts
Mhm,
right out there
mhm.
and say, "Hey, this happened." And what's the big deal anyway?
I
So what if we found evidence of giants
I
in
know.
our existence before,
So
or even while humans were here? Like, who cares? Why hide
yes,
that? That doesn't
yes.
even make sense to me. Who cares? We know
Well,
about dinosaurs. Who cares?
yeah, and,
Like, it's
and
cool. Let's learn
I
about this
know.
stuff.
But yeah, why do they spread? Don't you wonder? Because it's like all the UFO evidence too. Project Blue Book, it was all,
Mhm.
spirited away. And they say they've released some things they have, but it's all been redacted, right? So there's really nothing there but a bunch of black
What's
lines.
the point of hiding this?
Exactly.
What
And
and if we know enough, then what are you hiding? Why are you hiding
yes,
that? What is that
yes,
hiding? By
yes,
hiding this, you're hiding something else.
yes,
So
yes.
what else are you hiding that's even bigger that you don't want us to
Exactly.
know?
Oh,
Because if we find out
exactly.
about this, we might find out about that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. And there's the whole that story that we keep hearing up in northern Minnesota about the guy that shot the Bigfoot dead and didn't know what to do. And he went into town, and then pretty soon the feds show up and spirit the body away, and nobody has ever seen it again. So why? Why? What's the scoop? I don't understand. You know?
Mhm.
Yeah, redaction is hiding the truth, Paula. Absolutely. That's why they do that because it'll cause mass hysteria, is what I mean.
Or
But
it won't.
giants, come on. I just think that's just it's fascinating.
I mean, we have
Absolutely.
dinosaurs for crying out loud. That's
I
what I'm saying. Like,
know.
we have these creatures that are huge. They're the
Huge.
size of buildings, and
Yes.
we got through
Yes.
that. We understand, like, wow, good thing we weren't all here at the same time,
Yeah.
Okay, we're
Goodness.
good. So,
Yes.
let us have the UFOs and the
I
giants and whatever else, Bigfoot, let's do it.
Mhm. Why is there a need to quelch it? I don't know.
If they're hiding
But
something else, that's why.
yeah, I don't know. But
That's what I think.
it's fascinating, and what if? Here's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. What if?
Yeah.
What if they
Totally.
really are petrified giants? What if pink Himalayan salt is really derived from the blood
Now
of
that
the
one just those
Olympians?
pictures are just get out of
Weird.
town.
They're just weird. Yeah. And I mean, there we go. What if? We'll never know. We will
Yeah.
never know. But
Yeah.
it's
We might
interesting.
not know. We might know someday. Who knows?
Maybe someday. Yeah.
Maybe.
But it's fascinating, absolutely fascinating stuff, I think, you know?
Yep.
So
It's
here's
cool.
what,
So thanks,
yeah,
Jerry, for that
yes,
topic.
for
We love it.
sure. And for anyone else out there who watches, whether you watch live or whether you watch the videos later, if you have a topic or something and you think, oh, geez, let's send this to the girls and see what they can do with it, please do. Because
Send it away.
sometimes,
Mhm.
yeah, sometimes our best shows come from listeners' ideas.
Totally.
So,
Yep.
and this is just a perfect example of one, and
Yep.
then things go into other things and, because that's how it's a wormhole. The whole supernatural world is a wormhole. And one connects to the other, you know?
Sure. It's a
Oh
wormhole.
my gosh. But yeah, fun. But Jason, let's show all those pictures just one more time here at the end before we log off. There's the Oracle down in Pipestone. I'm not sure where these other ones are from, but they're fascinating. I took them off the web. And there's, of course, the sleeping giant up in Ontario on the lake,
Very cool.
Nana Bijou. And there's the sleeping lady. It's just so cool. It's just so
Mhm.
cool.
I
And
love
then
it.
let's one more time, let's show those salt mines that look like mussels and,
Oh, so
yeah.
wild.
I
When you
know.
look at it
It
from that
looks like
perspective,
lips.
it is just ishy.
I know. I agree.
Pretending.
I agree.
Yeah, it's just gross. Gross in a cool way, like, I'm still here for it, but
It is. Yeah, me
I'd
too.
wanna
Me
walk
too.
around in it just to feel the vibe because 'cause I'm sure
I
in a salt
know.
mine, it would be super intense, but then to think about it that way, like you're walking around inside a body, that's so wild,
Oh, yeah. I mean,
right?
wouldn't it be fun to go in there and just do
Yeah,
some meditating and just see what
yeah.
we feel and
Well, they
stuff?
have salt caves and stuff that you can do that. Can you imagine going
Yes.
into something like that? That would
No,
be
yes.
cool.
I mean,
That'd be
first of all, it'd
cool,
be
and to
freaky
think about
'cause
it like you're in a body, like, how weird.
yes,
Totally
yes,
trippy.
yes. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating. So anyway, is she
Is she comment of the, chat room comment of
Oh
the
my gosh. I love
hour.
it.
Is
I love it,
she?
love it, love
I
it.
love it.
Well, you know what? I think with that, we'll close out this episode. But yes, thanks again to Jerry for the subject. Thank you all for watching. Um, Thank you to our troops who are on the ground and who are overseas. Please be safe and thank you for your service.
And everybody in the chat room, thank you so much for your comments. Remember,
And
keep sending us ideas for shows. We
absolutely,
love it. We love hearing from you. That is why we are here gathered around the metaphysical table. And thank you
absolutely.
to Jason, our producer, for all of the awesome work that you do with us. Thank you so
Yes,
much for pulling it
yes,
together. And
yes,
Cryptovania TV for hosting our show. We are super glad to be here. And
we
we will
are.
see you all next week.
We will. Good night, everyone.